Hi everyone, welcome to Tarot Map. In today's video we are going to be reviewing the Seasons of the Witch and the Winter Tarot by Lorianne Anderson and illustrated by Tiana Lukovic and published by Rockpool. So for the disclosure, I have received this as a review copy. This deck is on pre-order right now and I want to just share my thoughts on it. So in the companion book that's quite, beautifully published with color illustrations, each of the descriptions describe exactly what's happening on the card, plus you get the interpretation of, or like divinatory meaning, right? But I read the introduction by Lorianne where she shares how, she was considering doing different approaches to how to create these tarot decks, because she knew she felt compelled by the spirit, as she writes, to create a tarot deck to her oracle decks, to the Seasons of the Witch, and she didn't know how to do it. First she thought she just wanted one tarot deck, then she decided to do 4 for each season. I really loved what she writes here, and I wanted to convey that back to you as well. You carry wisdom in your bones, even when your body is lacking experience. You carry love in your heart, even though you may not have felt a tender caress of late. You hold the power of your ancestors' blood in your veins, although you may not know their names, faces, or stories. I think that's beautiful and that's very true. And this particular deck is, of course, called Winter Tarot, so it is for Yule and Imbolc and the season of winter, and she treats winter as an archetype. And here she writes some keywords for the spirit of winter, which is conversation and adaptability, darkness, deep and inner wisdom, deep ritual, endurance and resilience, hibernation and dormancy, inner work, nourishment, patience and acceptance, rest and rejuvenation, setting intentions, shelter and protection, silence and meditation, surrender, vulnerability and warmth. And I also want to share one more thing from the introduction, that she also writes, of course you get dedicating your deck, how to get to know your deck. There is a really interesting spread that, I don't want to show all of the insights, but she also says that you can use, or how to use this deck beyond winter, because otherwise, you would have just a tarot deck for 3 months, right? So when you're feeling tired, especially spiritually or mentally, when you're seeking to reflect on a journey or after achieving a significant milestone, to embrace dark energies such as shadow work or deep rest, to build resilience during challenging times, to establish restorative living journey when you feel the need to be in stillness and solitude, to learn patience and trust in the divine. So then we go to Winter Tarot cards, and we start with major arcana, and then you go through the minors. So how I organized it for you, I know that there's a couple of reviews of this deck, or walkthroughs, I think, on YouTube, but I did go a little bit deeper. So because I was sent this deck not such a long time ago, and because I know that, they want me to show the deck because it's a pre-order, and, for the reasons of, if people like it, that they can pre-order, that boosts the sales on Amazon or whenever, what I mean. I wanted to show this deck soon. So I haven't worked with the cards too much. I'm a seasoned tarot reader, so I know for a fact if I can read with a deck or not. And if you've been following me, you know that I also use decks that are hard to read for some other people, maybe, because I enjoy a challenge. This deck, I think it's quite oracle-like and really well suited for intuitive reading. So it's it's based on Rider-Waite-Smith, but it kind of varies in the artwork from the archetypes that you may know. And Lorianne writes here that she wanted a tarot deck that's a little bit different, that uses that kind of witchy archetypes and something that's more alive for her. So because it's going to be 4 decks for all 4 seasons, she named every tarot archetype by adding the winter. From the comments that I got from people on my Instagram account when I shared it, if you don't follow me, please do. A lot of people were annoyed with the adding of winter, but I think because of the artwork and because there is going to be a whole series, they maybe weren't sure how to mark the winter decks, because the artwork sometimes might be similar, or not so obvious that this belongs to a winter deck. I'm not sure what the reasoning was behind it. It was a little bit annoying to me as well to see, Ace of Winter Wands, Two of Winter Wands. So basically, rather than having Two of Wands, you always have the winter added to it. And also the same is happening for the major arcana. There are some changes of the archetypes names in the major arcana, but we'll come to it in a sec. First, I wanted to show you all the minors, and let's see how they how Lorien, structured this, and if we can feel into this deck. As I said, this deck, if you like the Seasons of the Witch oracles, you probably will enjoy this tarot deck, because the artwork is, the same artist created it, and it has the same kind of feel. And I think it really suits itself very well for intuitive readings, for storytelling. It has this fantastical feel around it, right? So here for the aces, we have human spirits, what looks like human spirits or fairy spirits, but the spirits of the element. We have Ace of Winter, we have Ace of Winter Wands, Ace of Winter Cups, Ace of Winter Swords, and Ace of Winter Pentacles, which I think are all very, very beautiful. When we go to twos, Two of Winter Wands, which would be like Two of Wands, Two of Winter Cups, Two of Winter Swords, and Two of Winter Pentacles. And as you can see, even through the cups, let's say, it kind of draws from Rider-Waite-Smith, but it is a little bit different. It takes a little bit different meaning, because the artwork is a little bit different. The same with the Two of Swords, you don't see the crossover swords, the lady standing with closed eyes, etc., right? It's a little bit different. So don't expect the same kind of artwork, which of course I like, because I don't want another Rider-Waite-Smith clone. I'm glad the decks are inspired by Rider-Waite-Smith or Toph, but that they bring something new to the table. So when we go for three, we have Three of Wands, Three of Cups, which has it's not just three women, it has a man added to it as well, or the male body. Three of Winter Swords, which is interesting. It's like this reflective take. And then Three of Winter Pentacles. Fours, so Four of Wands, Four of Cups, fairly traditional. Four of Swords, also fairly traditional. And Four of Pentacles, a little bit different. I pulled this card in my deck interview and I felt like, oh, is it inviting me into the cave because it feels safe with the Four of Pentacles? Or is she stepping out? Yeah, is she stepping out of the cold into the cave, which provides sustenance and stability? I think so. So then we have fives. So this is Five of Wands. Which could be like children, arguing about the presents. It's mine, it's mine. Five of Cups, very beautiful image. I love this Five of Swords as well, but we don't get the other two, beings like on Rider-Waite-Smith. But she is in some conundrum. How is she going to get home, right? And then we have also Five of Pentacles, which is very traditional, but has that door that's open that she's kind of heading towards. So there's a little bit more hope. And then on my Instagram also, let's go with the Six of Wands, angelic being that leads you, guides you through. Six of Cups, That's interesting, because that's like a dream world, that she's kind of dreaming of something. And then with Six of Swords, somebody wrote in my comment in the comment on the Instagram that they were really annoyed that there were only 5 lightning bolts that symbolize, in everything there's 7. Here in the swords there were 5 swords, etc. So she was saying that there's only 5 of those lightning bolts as 5 strikes, and that was really annoying. That stopped her from ordering the deck. But when you look closer, this is the 6 of the lightning bolts, and the booklet explains it, that she takes some of the worries with her, so we only in the 6 of the cycle of 10, right? So no, there is 6 lightning bolts. So it's, if anybody is watching and thinking how annoying, you may not notice, but the 6th bolt is right here. And this is the 6 of Pentacles as well, so fairly traditional, this one. When we go to 7s, this is the 7 of Wands. This is pretty cool, but you can go with these cards wherever you want. It's a little bit oracle-ish, even though of course it's drawn on tarot, but I think it's quite intuitive. And for me, this 7 of Wands would probably be a little bit different to the traditional, which I would use to connect with maybe spirits of the ancestors, ritual, asking for guidance, etc. So I don't know what's your impression of these ones, but it gives you a little bit more freedom maybe, and it's a modern take on the tarot. 7 of Winter Swords was the card I pulled when in the spread of how to, get to know the deck. How do I know when you don't want to communicate with me? I pulled 7 of Winter Swords. So I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, whenever I pull this card, it means don't talk to me. And 7 Pentacles. And then we have 8. So after a while, I stopped kind of seeing this winter. It is a touch annoying, to be honest, but I don't know, it didn't really kind of like stop me. I love how here in the 8 swords and wands and cups, they kind of backwards. We see them backwards, embracing some form of a journey. She's stuck in the tree, and then she's also backwards and like doing some research or writing or creating something beautiful. So there are correlations, and you can see that this is thought through. It's not just like thrown out there. So 9 of Wands, which is kind of interesting because she's again out walking. So let me just compare to the 8 of Wands. Where is it? Okay, so with 8 of Wands, it looks more like she's kind of waiting for something to come or connecting to the momentum. And with the 9, she is off. Let's just check quickly how Lorraine explains the wands. So let's just see 9 of Winter Wands. So let's see what she writes. She says, here's a lone figure walking through a dark, cold landscape. She's barely able to keep going, but she knows her destination isn't too much further, or at least she hopes it isn't. She's tired, having been on this journey for such a very long time. The winds are howling and she can barely see, but she didn't come this far to give up now. She will persevere. Her red cloak stands out against the somber scene, a symbol of her determination and strength. And then we have this divinatory meaning, you almost there. There's the key takeaway of the 9 of Winter Wands. This card appears when your soul knows you've been through a lot. You've probably had more downs than ups at this point, and the idea of one more battle seems too much to bear. Don't end the relationship yet. Don't close down your business. Don't give up hope. Don't expect defeat. You're experiencing these trials for a reason. Everything is preparing you to have more, do more, be more. Each test you pass makes it possible for you to come closer to achieving your goals. If you're just at the beginning of the journey, receiving this card is somewhat of a wake-up call to let you know this won't be an easy path. There will be challenges, and your soul is attempting to give you a heads up before moving forward. However, this is also a sign that the struggle will be worth it in the end, and to remember drawing this card when you hit the rough patch. So, you know, that was 9. So 9 of Wands, then we have 9 of Cups, which is, you know, like reaching for the stars or receiving, or kind of, she's very fantastical. She's got the star on her head, right? And she's reaching with her hand into the clouds, splitting the dark sky, connecting with something that's, you know, visible and available. I like the dog is kind of holding a flower. I thought it's some other creature. 9 of Winter Swords, I like it. It's pretty cool. And then 9 of Winter Pentacles, she's pretty comfy, right, with her full cellar. And then the 10s, we have 10 of Wands, 10 of Cups. I like this, cute. 10 of Swords and 10 of Pentacles. And then when we go to the court cards, first one is Initiate. So Initiate would be like a page. So we have Page of Wands and Page of Cups, Page of Swords, and then Page of Pentacles. And then we have the Apprentice, Swords and Pentacles. And then we have Artisan for the Queen. So Apprentice would be the Knight. Artisan for the Queen, Black Cat, Cups with Unicorn. It's pretty sweet. Artisan of Winter Sword. She's funny. And then the Pentacles one is like a herbalist or a healer. And then we have the Master of Winter Cups, Wands, which is the Santa. He's like somebody, Dragon Queen, King, Swords and Pentacles. All right, so these were the majors with the court cards, and now these are the bags. They're reversible, and these are our major arcana. So the Winter Fool, she's heading off into the journey, you know, the winter landscape outside. And then we have the Winter Witch, which is the Magician. And then we have the Winter High Priestess. So we have like a triple goddess. Winter Empress. To me, it would be like cool if she was called like Snow Queen. The Winter Emperor. So yeah, at the beginning, I also thought like, is this like lazy that they just called it like this, or... But I think maybe there was a reason. I'm pretty sure, you know, Lorianne and everybody at Rockpool like thought about it, what to do, how to best do it. Maybe that was the easiest way to get out of it. So this is the Winter Hierophant. I'm curious about this one. Let's just see before I finish this. So Winter Hierophant stands before her initiates, sharing her many moons of wisdom and guiding their steps. They eagerly await her every word with the hopes of gaining even just a fraction of her magic. There is reverence being exchanged on both sides. The Hierophant sees the potential of her acolytes while they pay respect to her commitment to this craft. They could be balk at the rules or challenge their leader authority, but they have chosen to be here as they know there are skills and secrets that would take them years to learn on their own. There is more than one type of initiation happening here. They may not realize it, but the values they gain in this community will go on to impact the rest of their lives. Their worldview, their philosophy is being shaped at this moment. Who they become, who they share their life with, and their choices will have whispers of this learned behavior. Okay. I don't know. You know, Hierophant is one of my favorite cards, so this is not my favorite Hierophant, I have to say. The Winter Lovers, that's pretty sweet. I love the Winter Chariot. Oh, it's so cool. There's blowing wind, and she's on these black and white swans and being taken away. The Winter Strength is cute too. Winter Hermit. Winter Will with the frozen will. Winter Consequences for Justice. That's interesting. Winter Hangman. I love the image. Winter Death. Winter Temperance. Winter Devil. Winter Tower. Winter Star. Not Winter Moon, but New Moon. And then the Sun is Midnight. That's interesting. And then the Judgment is Self-Reflection. And then the World is Ascending to Spring. So it kind of connects you to the next tarot. Well, I wish they kind of changed the names of all of the majors, like they did for the couple of the last ones. That would be cool. Yeah, there's something with, like, something there is annoying with the winter names, but maybe some technical stuff. I wish these cards were a little bigger. I don't know, like, you know, it's normal tarot size, and they have beautiful edging. I love this color. It's so gorgeous. I can riffle shuffle them. I did, but I wouldn't suggest doing it. You can, but this paper is very much, it's just paper, so it doesn't have any bend. It's so easy to, like, if I squashed it, it just would stay like this. So I don't think they chose the best paper for this deck, to be honest. But the edging they used, it's amazing, and look how it's hold. It's really good quality, but the paper is just for someone who loves riffle shuffling, it's not great. But on the other hand, if I just shuffle it overhand, it has a nice weight to it, and it's actually really nice to shuffle. It's also very shiny, so you know, I think for the colors to pop, you needed shine on this deck, which I don't mind. And to be honest, as I said, I'm pretty low-key about the cardstock right now, so I'm not annoyed. I just wish it had a little bit more bend in it, so it would be easier and not so easy to, you know, I don't want to really even try too hard, because it's like paper, so it's going to stay, doesn't come back to shape, okay, that's what I mean. But plus and minuses, right? So the regular tarot size, beautiful edging, reversible, but again, when overhand shuffling, it's very easy and has nice weight, and I like it. Riffle shuffle, be careful, because you might destroy the cards because they don't get much bend and are too papery for a riffle shuffling, in my case, in my opinion. And then they come in this bigger box, right? That's beautiful, but it's the bigger one where the booklet also goes in and everything stays inside the box. All in one, I think it's a really interesting project. I'm excited to see, you know, all the 4 tarot decks, and I will report back. I will definitely, I see myself using this deck with the oracles from the Seasons of the Witch, but also I can see myself using this deck for storytelling or just practicing with my imagination, because it's the artwork suits itself well for it, and you know, you can add your tarot knowledge, but also use them per se a little bit like oracles. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm kind of excited about it, and yeah, I'm going to play. So thanks for watching. Thank you, Rockpool. Bye.